Last year, I went to Mexico to see my dad and his side of the family, and maybe take a break about what's going on back home. And here's my tales from that trip. A little side note, I'm sorry that I've been waiting a long time to release these videos. It's just that I've been putting YouTube on the side, but not anymore because now I'm back in action, I think. Second note is, I was going to blog everything, but I don't think it was a good idea to bring my brand new Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus 5G with the live buds and Samsung Watch. Isn't really a good idea to bring expensive items to a place you don't know. But don't worry, everything turned out fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. So let's start off with the plane ride. So at first, I was terrified of planes. Since my family used to watch disaster films when I was little, seeing multiple plane crashes really engraved that fear into my head. So when I first got into the plane, I got scared. I asked the guy next to me what should I expect on my first plane ride. He just gave me a laugh and said, "Yeah, you'll definitely remember it." That really doesn't help my case. About 15 minutes of pure anxiety building up, the plane started moving. And here's how the plane feels like for you first timers. It's almost like a roller coaster. You first start off slow, you go fast enough that it pulls you back, and then it just feels like you're floating. And I gotta say, it's something that you just gotta feel it to believe it. And I may add that the sights are pretty amazing too. To see the city and land from a sky view, it's just amazing, and the clouds look pretty cool as well. But then after 15 minutes it does look kinda boring. I did notice when I booked this plane that the plane ride is about 4 hours to Denver. I was actually pretty happy about that. 4 hours to do whatever I want. I can draw, I can write, I can play games. It'll be awesome. I fell asleep 20 minutes trying to decide what I wanted to do. And then I woke up 20 minutes before we started landing. And I gotta say, Denver actually surprised me. It was a lot more different than I thought it would be. I imagined it more mountainy, but it's just flat. Like flat everywhere. It's just nothing. After getting lost for about 20 minutes, I checked into my new flight, which was with Valoris, a whole different airline from the one I took to here. It was Frontier Airlines that I got from Charlotte to Denver, and Valoris from here to Mexico City. Now I must say, Frontier Airlines was pretty nice, comfy, and the plane attendants were very nice as well. Compare that to the most cheapest airline Hispanics use to travel. It's a very different place. A little bit more cramped, a little bit more shaky. But it didn't really matter, because after 15 minutes I fell asleep too. I must say though, the difference between the US and Mexico's geographic land is amazing. After seeing more of a city coming to view, it did look pretty amazing to see how different the landscape is between the States and Mexico. And it did look pretty cool, and a little bit more beautiful, I gotta say. Now I must say, Charlotte Airport and Denver Airport were very friendly and easy to navigate. But this airport... oh, this airport. Mexico City Airport was just a mess. Let's start off with the immigration process. Now, I was one of the first people to get off the plane, and because of that, I was able to beat the traffic to get through the officer. I look back, and I see about a whole line standing right behind me. Awesome. And then I see only one person in front of me when the officer was letting people through. Just like 5 minutes, right? Tell me why. More than 30 minutes have passed and this woman is still arguing with the officer, even though the officer is telling her that she does not have enough information for her daughter to pass through. After another 5 minutes, he just brushed her aside so the other officer can deal with her. And it only took me 5 minutes to get through. I looked back and there was no longer a line. Are you kidding me? You know what? It's fine. I just need to get my luggage and I can actually see my dad. Won't take that long, right? Right? Now, something that's different from the United States and Mexico City's airport is that when getting your luggage, there's usually are conveyor belts that are in their own groups for different airlines. And so, it's a lot more easy to know where to go to get your luggage. But nope, not here. They decided, alright, we just put all the luggages on one conveyor belt and then do it all at once. People just getting luggages left and right, not caring for the world who they're stepping on. Went to this guy and asked him where this airline could be at, and he just told me, I don't know, just look around. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, I just look around, you know, since this is not my first time being here and probably won't need help at all. I looked around, I went to the second floor, I went to this weird place that no one was at. I thought I was lost until security just told me, hey, you're at the wrong spot, go back to the main area. And I was like, oh, I thought this was the place because no one's telling me anything. Spent 20 minutes looking for my luggage, and then I find it way back in the middle of nowhere. Although I do gotta say, I felt pretty stupid since my luggage was right there in the middle of nowhere. I got my luggage, I was about to leave, until an officer stopped me and said, hey, we need to look at your bag since you're an immigrant. I guess it's your job. How long would it take, huh? 10? 15? It took me an hour to go through that service. And what ticked me off the most was to see a group of people in front of me with their 8 bags of just pure shoes, and I'm over here with 1 bag saying, why am I here? Why do I have to wait? Those people right next to me didn't have to wait. I'm right here with 1 bag, well, this one person and they don't know how to open their bag because they overfilled it, and I'm over here trying to save my spot for this guy in the back trying to cut me off. Can you not cut me off, dude? Jesus Christ, man. My plane came at 5:30. I left that place at 7:30. Then it was my turn. I gave them my bag. They looked at my bag. They looked at my computer, which I brought. They asked me, what is this? And I was like, it's a damn computer. Do you know what a computer is? They were like, oh, I've never seen this type of computer before. I'm like, okay, lady. Yeah, it's my new PlayStation 6 Live, alright? That's what the computer is. They gave me a tag and said, alright, just show this to the lady and you'll be on your way. I get my tag and I go to the people and they just brushed me off. What? I spent an hour trying to get this damn tag and you're just not going to even take it? At least look at it, you damn baboons! And then I was able to leave. And I was able to see my dad waiting for the people to see their loved ones. And I walked over there. I was about to greet him. And this dude just cut me off right in front of me to hug his family member. Are you kidding me? I walked around and then hugged my dad. I left that airport as fast as we could because I couldn't deal with another migraine, and we just left to my dad's hometown. And I must say, Mexico City at nighttime is really amazing. To see the lights from the houses flicker around the mountain looked pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. And once we got to his hometown, we stopped by for some Mexican street food, and I was like, cool, I can actually taste my first authentic actual Mexican food, which was burgers. You know, the signature dish of Mexico. One funny thing that he told me was to be careful when eating new Mexican food. Because he told me that foreigners are always having stomach bugs because they're not used to the Mexican food they have here compared to what they have in States. And I told him, my mom makes some crazy food, alright? If I can endure what she makes, I think I can handle Mexican food here. And I ate it, and then nothing happened. It was actually pretty good. It was alright. The patty was pretty weird, and it was just a block of cheese. That's all weird. That was all about it. And I liked it. Pretty cool. Also, let me tell you about some other things I noticed that was very different from the United States. Let's talk about public transportations. One day we went to the supermarket to get some new things, and so we had to take the bus to get there. Now my dad had to pick me up at the airport with a friend's car, but unfortunately he had to give it back to his friend the next day. So we had to take the bus, as he said. We waited at the bus stop, and this big old white van comes in front of us and opens its doors. You know, this is a red flag in some places. Alright, just get in there, son. Huh? Yeah, so over here they call vans buses. I get on, notices how empty it is, and I sit down. I was like, maybe it ain't that bad. And then the guy started driving. At least it's spacious. Okay, never mind. It's even worse when you go into this van full of people and you just squeeze in there like a can of sardines. I can't decide if it's better if I look at somebody sitting in front of me or having my butt in their faces with my tall height. Well, on that topic, let's talk about the roads. Or should I say, the road kills. I swear at any moment there will be a devastating crash because these people drive like hooligans. There are no stoplights, potholes were everywhere, and people were driving like mad lads. There was this one time a car was going to one lane to cut us off, and then out of nowhere a car was cutting that car to cut the car we were in. So this car was cutting the car that was cutting the car that we were in. That's not all. This cop was driving right next to us, and this car was coming up. This car went next to the cop, speed up, and then cut off that cop. And I was just so flabbergasted. So these cars can cut cops to cut the cars that the cars are cutting the cars that we are in. So many car cuttings, that's just crazy now. And they think I'm crazy. And I'm just crazy over here with the cars cutting people cars of the cars we're in. There's so many cars. And then there was the pedestrians. You know, when the bus stopped and then we were in the intersection where the store was right next to us, we just had to cross this busy street and I just could not find a way through. I looked to my left, cars were coming through. On my right, the motorists were just acting crazy. I looked at my dad to see what he should do, and I don't see my dad next to me. I look in front of me, and he's already halfway through. I guess we're playing Frogger now. What's even funnier is that when we got to the store, I noticed that this was a chain off Walmart called the Bodega, which was even funnier because there's American brands all over this place, and this is the one thing that was, considered Spanish. And one thing I also noticed is that the Mexican peso is a lot more different than the US dollar, and it only took me about a minute or two to discover the currency change between the Mexico peso and the US dollar. And I realized that it's a lot more cheaper here than the US. I swear, I came out with a lot of food, a pillow, and a razor with only $15. I was out there balling. Be rich around here, fellas. No, I'm sorry. Estamos aquí afuera, licos, mi amigos. And that was just the first week here. I gotta say, a lot more crazier than I expected. And there'll be a lot more coming up. But this is just part 1 of part 2. So yeah, I'll be talking about the beauty of Mexico on the next one. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.